Hello, Monica coming to you with my last PMP exam update for you. A few weeks ago, I did take the PMP exam and I passed the exam, so yay. But most importantly, I wanted to go ahead and take some time to share my personal experience and just some observations that I have from taking the test. I was scheduled to take my test at 8 o'clock in the morning and needed to be at the testing facility by 7:30. So 7:15, showed up at the testing center, walked into the testing center so I could begin the check-in process. And when I walked in, I took a number, had a seat, and waited until they called my number. Once I got up to the desk, I did provide them with my driver's license. They did have to take a scan of my hand, and then they also took a picture of me. Once I was done with that part of it, they gave me a key and assigned a locker to me and asked me to go ahead and put my personal belongings. So I did have like some water and some snacks and my purse with me. So anyways, went in, I put all of that into the locker. They did ask me if I needed to use the restroom before I go into the testing room. I was good to go, done with the first check-in. Then I went through a second check-in, and this second check-in is to get into the actual testing room. So when I get there to do my second check-in, they did ask me to go ahead and roll up my sleeves. They also asked me they wanted to check all my pockets. I was wearing a sweater, so they asked me to take off the sweater, asked me to turn around. They also asked me to go ahead and lift my hair up. I think they just wanted to like check my ears just to see if I had anything in my ears. I don't know. From there, they proceeded to give me some instructions on, you know, if I want to enter or if I want to exit the testing office, I have to raise my hand, you know, and just wait until they come and get me. I'm not allowed to just get up and go whenever I want. So gave me some instructions on all of that, on, you know, taking breaks and stuff like that. Then they gave me some earbuds, and then they also gave me a laminate piece of paper and a dry eraser marker. And from there, I was escorted to my desk. He kind of gave me a thumbs up. I gave him a thumbs up, and then he walked away. Once I got to my desk, I did write down on my laminate piece of paper the times that I needed to take my breaks. There's 2 breaks that I needed to for time management, I needed to be prepared to take a break after 60 questions and then after 120 questions. So wrote that down, and then once I did that, I went through the whole little tutorial just to make sure that I understood how to navigate and how to flag the questions and all that good stuff. And then right before I hit the start button on my exam, I went ahead and I wrote down the time. Funny thing is there was a clock ticking and ticking and ticking right above my desk. So, you know, it was one of those old clocks. And so luckily I did have a clock up there. I say luckily, I don't know if that was good or bad because of all the click-tock, tick-tock noise while I was taking the exams. Once I hit that start button, I definitely, you know, dived right in there, started answering those questions. Also did use the flag button. So there were some questions that I did come across right away where I was like, okay, I just don't even want to struggle with this one right now. It was too long. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I flagged it, right? And then I just kept going on, and, you know, I found my rhythm. And one thing I do want to point out is definitely use the flag feature. You know, don't struggle. Don't spend a whole lot of time on a question if you just, you know, if it isn't coming to you right away. So flag it, move on to the next question. And then the other thing I want to make a note of, you want to make sure that you give yourself enough time to go back and answer all of those questions that you flagged. So while I say go ahead and use the feature to flag those questions, be mindful and know how many of those questions you've put into the flag queue and how much time you have left. Because one of the things is that once you've come up to those 60 questions and you have time to finish reviewing those and you get ready to go for a break, you will not be able to go back and review any of those questions that were on that test. You don't want to flag a bunch of questions, come up to the end, and then not have time to go back and actually, you know, problem solve or answer or whatever you need to do for those flagged questions. Next thing I want to talk about are breaks. You get 2 10-minute breaks. Please take those breaks. First break is after you take 60 questions. Second break is after you take 120. So I did take both of my breaks. After 60 questions, I raised my hand, and once they came in, got me, they escorted me out, and from there I ran to the restroom, then stretched, did some stretching and stuff, and then from there I went to my locker, grabbed some water, and then started to make my way back into the testing room, probably about 3 or 4 minutes before my time. So went back to the back to go get into my testing room. You need a little bit of time there because they will need to escort you. And during the second part of my exam, I did struggle with brain fatigue, and I also did feel anxiety creep up. So a couple of things there that I did feel on the second part of that exam. I also struggled with time management. I utilized all 230 minutes of the time that was allocated to me to take that exam to answer all of my questions. There towards the very end of my exam, I was down to like 3 minutes, and I still had 5 more questions that I had flagged that I needed to go and work through. So it was like, the anxiety was getting to me. I kept saying, okay, just trying to calm myself down. Once I ran out of time, I went ahead and I hit the submit button and waited for results. And as soon as I saw the congratulations come across the screen, I raised my hand and I couldn't wait to get out of that testing room. And of course, once I was out of that room, I let out a huge sigh of relief and thanked God for this victory. And now here are some observations. So number 1, the test is 50% agile and the other 50% is predictive and hybrid. So make sure you have a very good understanding of all of the flavors. I do remember answering a question related to CPI, and if I recall, I did have to remember the formula for CPI, and so yeah, I did see one performance measurement question where I did have to utilize formula. Otherwise, I don't think I remember seeing any others. Well, there we have it. My 12-week journey has successfully concluded. I hope this information was helpful for you. And if you are still on your PMP journey, please don't quit. Keep going. If you have any questions, reach out to me. If I can do it, you can do it too, okay? So reach out, give me comments if you have any questions. Otherwise, thank you so much for following my journey. Have a great one.